Hey guys, Dan here with Device Enforcer, and today we're going to be assembling and taking a look at the FlexiSpot Comhar all-in-one standing desk. Now FlexiSpot did send this to me for review, so I just want to disclose that and get it out of the way at the start here. So take that as you will. But first things first, I'd like to show you the current setup that I'm going to be putting this desk into so you can see why it's in need of an upgrade. So this is the setup that we're going to be adding the FlexiSpot desk to. As you can see, it's okay, it's pretty average, but it could be a lot better. So there's a few things that I'm hoping to address with the addition of the new desk. So first thing here, you see we've got this what do you call it? It's the IKEA Alex add-on unit, and that's being used as a monitor riser, which is fine because the monitor is too low by default with its stock stand, but it's also taking up a pretty good portion of the depth of the desk, which makes it a little bit more cramped using the mouse and keyboard. Also, the system and wallpaper, I guess you can tell, haven't been updated since December. It's still in a Christmas theme, so I'm going to change that. And the chair here, it's an Amazon Basics task chair, which is fine for short sitting periods, but for things like working from home now, and my girlfriend uses this setup for her college sometimes, which her last semester is starting this next week here. So hopefully we can get this standing desk in, and then she'll be able to use this much more comfortably in either a sitting or standing configuration instead of being forced to sit. Something else I'd like to address is these two monitors. You can see that there wasn't really room in this part of the setup over here for this monitor with the add-on unit, so they're sort of split uncomfortably far apart. And I'm also going to be adding a monitor arm, and we're going to be slightly downgrading from this 32-inch AOC monitor to an older, I believe it's a 24-inch LG IPS monitor, and I want that to be mounted vertically beside her main display here. And then the final thing I want to change is just these lamps here, because I just think that they're okay, but they don't exactly match the white tabletop. So I've got some other lamps that I think would fit with the setup a little bit better. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention is that this desk here I think is a little bit too long. So I'm going to be taking this desk, which was formerly the main desk in the setup, we're going to be moving that to the side, and then we're going to be putting the FlexiSpot desk where that one previously was. So the next step is to build the desk. So I got all the parts out of the box, and it actually looks like it's going to be a lot easier to assemble than I initially thought. There's only 4 main parts of the desk. You've got the desktop surface with the electronics already built in. And then this is the lifting assembly and legs. And then it's just these feet for either side and a power cable. And all the hardware came in separate little bags that had the part labeled in the same way that it's labeled in the instructions. So I think this is going to be pretty easy to put together. So let's get started. Well, I don't know if you could tell from the video, but that was actually super easy, much more than I was expecting it to be. It legitimately took me less than 5 minutes to build this desk. I think it was like 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Really all you have to do is put in the 16 bolts that came with it and then plug in 2 cables and you're pretty much done. So now that it's assembled, let's take a look at some of its other features. So the one thing that I see that differentiates this desk from a lot of other standing desks is this built-in drawer right here, which I think is a nice feature to have, especially since in the setup behind me we're going to be losing the 2 drawers in that Alex add-on unit, so that's going to be a great alternative. You could store something like, if you have wireless peripherals and they're slim enough they would fit in here, or there's like a little tray for pencils in the bottom of the drawer. Just anything that you might need handy at your desk. There's a convenient storage space for it that other standing desks don't seem to typically have. As for the controls on this side, you've got a little LCD display, up, down, 4 presets that you can save heights to, and 2 USB Type A's, 1 USB Type C, and a lock button. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how the lifting mechanism works. So say you want it to go up, you just hold your finger on the up button. The LCD display shows the current height of the desk in, I believe it's centimeters. And then when you take your hand off, it slowly rises to a stop. And something else that I noticed with this is that it's incredibly stable, even at like its max height. I thought there would be some side-to-side shift considering there's only 2 legs, but you really don't get any of that. So if you have presets saved, like I saved a normal sitting height to the 1 preset, you can just touch it and take your hands off of it and it'll move to that height. Then the USB ports, they're really just for charging. Like if you could charge up to 3 devices off the desk at one time. The lock button, they call it a child lock button in the instructions, so I guess the intention is that you would lock it when you don't want your pets or your kids to be able to change the height of the desk and potentially injure themselves. But I think it's a little bit weird that the easiest button to press on the whole desk is the lock button, because all you have to do is press it again and it's unlocked. There are safety features built into the desk, of course, too. Oop. There are safety features built in, so if it's going down and it encounters something that's preventing it from lowering further, it will actually stop and let you know that it has bumped into something. So I'll demonstrate that here. So if my hand is here and it lowers down into my hand, it goes back up a little bit so it doesn't crush anything that's under here. But yeah, so far I'm pretty happy with it. I guess the only thing that's left to do is to put it into the setup, and then I will show you how it looks. Well, it's the next day now. It took me way longer than I thought it would just to get everything transferred over from the old setup to the new setup, mostly because of cable management, and obviously the difficulty of managing cables that need to have enough slack left in them for when the desk raises to a standing position. But I hope you agree that this is much better looking than the previous setup. Pretty much everything that I had hoped to accomplish was accomplished by switching to this desk. The only thing I'm not too happy with is the monitor arm. I feel that it's positioning the monitors a little bit too far out from the wall just because of how much I had to bend the arms to get them close enough together. But that's something that I can easily change if I decide it's too annoying in its current configuration. But ultimately, the real question at the end of the day is, would I recommend this desk, the FlexiSpot Comhar all-in-one standing desk, I believe? And I guess the answer depends on what the actual retail price is supposed to be, because the website, it says $500, but every time I've checked it over the course of dealing with the company and setting up the desk and making this review, it's always been reduced to $360. So I'm not sure if it's supposed to be $360 and they're just trying to make it look like you're getting a good deal or what. At $360, I guess it's easier to recommend because it does have features that you can't really find as easily on other standing desks, like the built-in drawer, It seems to have pretty good functionality with the USB ports, the lock button, and then you can save the heights. But for $300 you can even get like bigger adjustable height desks from other companies. They just they don't have the drawer, they might not have quite as many features, so it really depends on how much you value specifically the features of this desk. I would say that for $500 it's probably not worth it for most people, but at $360 I don't have any problems recommending this. Well, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. I'm going to leave you with a B-roll montage of the newly updated setup. Thanks for watching.